How's it going, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey to talk about a trade between the Penguins and the Panthers. I'm a little late on this one. If you're here, please subscribe, drop a like, but let's get right into the analysis. So the Penguins acquire Nick Bjustad and Jared McCann from the Panthers in exchange for Derek Brassard and Riley Sheahan. So two third-line centers getting swapped. Jared McCann, in my opinion, is the X factor of this trade, and then Riley Sheahan just another throw-in. Also going to the Panthers is a 2019 second-round pick and two 2019 fourth-round picks, one being from the Minnesota Wild. Pittsburgh had to include these draft picks to offset the fact that Brassard and Sheahan are pending UFAs versus Bjustad, who's under 4.1 AAV contract, who's under a little bit of term, with also Jared McCann, who's a younger piece who's actually a little intriguing, and the Panthers saw the potential when they acquired him. The Goodbranson trade with the Canucks. So let's read right from the NHL.com report, and then we'll go into some deeper analysis on who I think won this trade. So Brassard has 15 points in 40 games this season. 31-year-old forward is in the final season of a 5-year contract he signed as a member of the Rangers in July 2014. Traded to the Penguins by the Senators in February 2018. 8 points in 14 games after the trade and 4 points in 12 Stanley Cup playoff games. He was selected by the Columbus Blue Jackets, the number 6 pick of the 06 NHL draft. If a quote, and I agree, Brassard has not played well as a Penguin. He's just not fit in with the system. To be honest, Brassard has not played up to our expectation, although he's been a little bit better of late. Rutherford said, "We don't feel pressure to make a deal. I like our team, but if there's an area I'd like to address, it would be to upgrade up the middle behind Crosby and Malkin." So the other guy in the deal, Sheahan, has 9 points in 49 games. The 27-year-old center was traded to the Penguins by the Red Wings October 2017 for Scott Wilson. He'll also become an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. So Panthers general manager Dale Talon said creating future salary cap flexibility by acquiring 2 players on expiring contracts was the key to the trade. A few quotes. Then we scroll down. So then, like I said, he is 6'6", Nick Bjustad. Strong with the puck down low. Guy has a great shot. Really likes to shoot the puck. His stats haven't been great. Only 12 points through 32 games. That's kind of risky for a guy that's making over $4 million. Still fairly young, only 26 years of age. We've seen it before with the Penguins. Maybe a guy that enters their system, starts improving. You saw it, for example, like a Justin Schultz, who went from the Oilers to the Penguins, and that saved his career, essentially. Jared McCann has 18 points in 46 games. Not too bad for a 22-year-old center who was selected by the Canucks in the 2014 draft. Rutherford said McCann's defensive ability after his offensive ability made him desirable. This is a shutdown player. You put him on a third line in that kind of role, you can shut down other players. It'll be interesting on both sides because now maybe they separate McCann and Bjustad, but if he's talking about McCann being a third line player, then maybe they stick together, as well as Brassard going to the Sens. You'd like to think there was some chemistry with Brassard and Hoffman in Ottawa. Maybe Brassard plays with Hoffman and something happens there, or I'm going to talk about the other scenario. But then Bjustad and McCann are natural centers, but one likely will shift to the wing, of course, with the Pens. And Bjustad can play right wing, so that's also another interesting aspect there. So as much as we might think Bjustad might be at that center role, like I thought if the Penguins would acquire him in that video I made, with McCann in this deal, maybe McCann slots in for the Penguins, behind Crosby and Malkin, of course. So what do I think will happen? I think there's a possibility that actually Brassard and Sheahan, at least one of them, more likely Brassard actually gets flipped. If Brassard finds actually some success with Hoffman, like I said, or some success with the Panthers, maybe they make a comeback here. Maybe something happens, but they're way out of a playoff spot right now, and things are not looking good in Florida. It's more likely that they get flipped. Key for Florida also is you've got some big pending UFAs like Artemi Panarin, Sergei Bobrovsky. This clears cap by the end of the season as well, regardless if they don't trade him or not. If they don't re-sign these guys, they're shedding about, $5 million of cap, maybe even more compared to what they would eventually have to sign Jared McCann for. And then Pittsburgh turning these expiring deals into guys with a little bit of term, control. And then again, I think Jared McCann's definitely an X factor, 22-year-old who already can play decent third line minutes. So I like the trade for both teams. I think Florida, in a sense, wins this deal more because of what they're getting, plus a second and 2 fourth-round picks. What I will add is I don't think the Pittsburgh Penguins lost this trade. I think it's a pretty fair deal. I think both teams got what they wanted. The only thing I'll say is that it's riskier for the Penguins because they're taking on a guy that hasn't really had a great couple last seasons in Bjustad, and the $4.1 million against the cap isn't great for a Pittsburgh Penguins team that's usually always trying to save cap. But at the end of the day, you're getting a Jared McCann as well. So like the trade for both teams. Again, I think the Panthers, there's no chance of them losing the deal. They get 3 draft picks, and if they don't get anything from Brassard or McCann or Brassard or Sheahan, then you're still getting those draft picks. But I think there's a chance that they could still flip Brassard. If they wanted to flip Brassard, I could see them getting at least a second-round pick for Brassard heading down the trade deadline. Playoff teams are always looking for top 9 centers. They're always being coveted. So. Really like this for the Panthers, especially their direction. It gives them a lot of flexibility and gives them more assets to work with. For the Penguins, again, if they can turn Bjustad's career around and get him going in Pittsburgh, then I really like the trade for them as well. So, guys, thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel. Drop a like. Hopefully you enjoy the content here. Again, sorry for being late on this trade, but appreciate all of that. And usually Hot Take Hockey is one of the first to break the trades after report comes out or one of the insiders around the US or Canada break it around the Twitterverse. So again, appreciate it. Look out for some live streams coming up. Stay in touch on Discord, links in the description, as well as on Twitter. Those are in the description as well. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace out.